I had an alright day. Got a little late, but I've been I've been playing my game and got the dogs fed. As you can see, the bowl. I left one bowl down so they could pick at it, and it's empty now. Um, put some wash in. I'm live on YouTube too. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if it didn't send out the notifications or what. We'll see. Um, so I'm still trying to get up enough gumption to put away that fucking batch of clothes. Can I hire somebody to come put my clothes away, please? Oh, you got notified. Good. I think I'm finally gonna do it. Did I get your message? I don't know. My back is killing me. I am going to the chiropractor tomorrow because holy shit. My SI joint is like severely fucked right now. So it's really hurting. Did you guys happen to see now I saw it from Robbie Harvey, so I don't know where the original one goes. But did you guys see JP come on TikTok talking about how he's gonna show all these text messages and he's gonna get real justice for Mica and who really did this to her? And Harvey pretty much, did him in. Because he wanted to call Harvey out, so Harvey basically stitched the video and like nailed him with like 17,000 questions, and I doubt that they will ever is he being investigated by the FBI? I did hear that. I don't know if it's Natasha's questioning the fisherman now. Who knows? I've saw some really weird shit. Apparently, I saw one where this guy, he was showing how there was a guy following Mica at the pawn shop. But, that's weird. She was saying how, this guy was saying how this guy was following Mica at the pawn shop and saying, well, what if it was the fisherman? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. But there was an interview with the fisherman who did not want his face on camera. He did not want his face on camera, but it showed his arms. Wasn't he white? Isn't the fisherman white? The fisherman is white. Am I wrong? Because I'm okay. The fisherman is white. Okay, he seemed like an old like Southern dude. Okay, because this guy was like, oh yeah, this guy's following Mica at the pawn shop, and maybe it's the fisherman. And I'm like, but the dude at the pawn shop's black. Now I saw a video of there was the fisherman right after Natasha said she interviewed him weirdly, who said that he didn't want anything to do with anything. He wasn't talking to anybody or anything, and he was going on this particular news outlet to basically say that he is tired of being questioned. He didn't do anything wrong. He wants to stay to himself. This was like right after she said she interviewed him. And they showed him from like here down. And unless I am completely wrong and imagining things, the dude is white. He's tan, but he's white. Hey, Michaela. And so I'm not really sure that would be the guy at the pawn shop. So but this one guy said that there was somebody following her at the pawn shop, and it did look like the guy was like definitely interested in her. He was like watching her. He showed different clips, and it definitely looked like he was watching her. Go look at his Facebook. He's white. Okay, that's what I thought. Why do you guys have his Facebook? Why? why do we have a fisherman's Facebook? Now, I feel like people don't understand that It's so wild to me. Oh my God. I don't want to go down this tangent again. But like, why do we have his Facebook? Why? For what? You know, um here's the deal. I don't know if anybody thought about this. Maybe not. I don't know. They have it plastered everywhere. Why? We have his great grandma's ex-boyfriend's mom's maiden name too. I bet you guys do. I bet you guys do. Here's my thing, okay? For the people who say that the fisherman's involved, okay? Why'd he call the police? You think he couldn't have got away with that? Like he couldn't have just got away, ridden in, well, drove into the sunset and just been gone? Why would he have wasted time calling the police? Why? He if he was in on it, he's not going to call the police. He's just not. That's just stupid. Like, if he had something to do with it, he didn't. Okay. I stand corrected. The kayaker did. Okay. I thought that the fisherman did, and because I thought he said, he said that there was two people on a boat. See, we're gonna have a conversation because I follow, but I don't follow, if that makes sense. Like I know what's going on to a point, apparently. And I don't know to other points, apparently. So a kayaker, which okay, this is a story I heard. Somebody please correct me because I'm apparently really, really wrong or really, really like left back here. Because I was watching it more in the beginning. I thought the fisherman called. He saw two people on a boat, asked them if they heard the shots. They said they did and left. I did hear something about a kayaker later, but I remember, and trust me, I'm beginning to feel extremely gaslit in my reality, by the way. There's a lot of things that I'm not remembering correctly at this point, so that's okay. Which is why I'm asking you guys to please set me straight. The kayaker found her and called the police. I thought that was the fisherman. Hey, I thought that I thought the fisherman found her and called the police and said, "I heard somebody crying. I heard shots." So I got the two confused. Okay, good to know. This is why I ask you guys. What's going on, because there's so much. I told you guys. This is why when I do a true crime case, I have to have everything laid out in front of me because apparently I don't remember things correctly. I thought the fisherman heard the shots, investigated, found her, called the police, said he heard crying, said he heard the gunshot, and apparently that is not correct. This is why I ask people, because I don't know. And I don't pretend to know. I don't pretend to be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know he heard the shots. That part I know. I know that. I know that he heard crying. I know that he heard shots. I thought he's the one who called. I thought he was the one who called. Where did the kayaker come from? So there was a kayaker who just stumbled on her body. Okay. This is and you wonder why this case is so confuddled. I feel like there's too many players in this. I feel like there's too many players. I am very interested, however. Okay, he didn't find her, he found her things and he picked them up. Okay, that I knew he found her things and I knew that he picked them up. I thought he found her things with her, but then that makes sense. Because they said that the phone was found nowhere near. Okay, well, found her stuff and left. The kayaker went in after him and found her. So he found her stuff, turned around and left, and then the kayaker went in for absolutely no reason at all and just found her. Wait, what? The fisherman stood up NC when she was there. Well, she said that she interviewed him, though. Did she not interview him? Do we have proof of her interview him? Do we have a video? Do we have anything? Is there proof that this happened, or is there just say so? Micah, I'm trying to get everything in my head correctly, because apparently there is things that I have not managed to keep filed correctly. Okay, so they show her interviewing him. Okay. That was just weird to me, because he literally had went on like 2 days later and said that he didn't want to be talking to people. Maybe that was his last interview was with her. Maybe he was just like, you know what, that's it, I'm done. I'm done. I've had it. I've had enough people talking to me. Natasha was out there. He wouldn't meet her. She did an interview. It's recorded. So, all right. So the fisherman finds her stuff, does no more investigation, turns around and leaves with her stuff. The kayaker, for no reason whatsoever, went to where she was and found her. Why did he was on her live. The fisherman didn't show up. Which one is it, for the love of Christ? I'm getting everything from he was on her live to it's on her page to he didn't show up. I think these are two different things. I know that apparently she went there in the past couple days, and maybe that's when he stood her up. But some of you guys are saying that he was on the live. Some of you are saying that there is a video on her page. I don't know. I don't follow her. I have no idea. Yeah, two different things. Okay, cool. He stood her up in person. Okay, so he was on her live. She recorded it. She went there to meet with him, and he didn't show up. Well, that's some shit. You got some shit. So did he show his face on the live? Because he didn't want to show his face on the interview that I saw with the news. Did he show his face at all? Because he didn't show his face on that. Well, I'm just wondering if he found her stuff and he didn't find her and he turned around and left. Why would the kayaker, because she was found in restricted area, so why would the kayaker just randomly find her? Can somebody clear that one up for me? If she was found in a restricted area, the fisherman didn't see her, how would the kayaker just randomly find her? Hey, Natasha. From everything that I have read, it says restricted. Every single person that I have watched, Justin, Harvey, news reports, they've all said it's restricted. So if it's not restricted, that just now came out in the past 5 minutes, because I have heard that on numerous outlets that it was restricted. Numerous outlets that it was restricted. Restricted by land anyway. Obviously by water, not necessarily, but by land it was restricted. Which is why they said it was so strange that why would she go through waist high water just to walk into a restricted area? The only way you could get to it is through the water, which is apparently where the kayaker found her. I feel like I need to go back and definitely reevaluate everything that I've said or everything that I've heard and read, because I feel like either I got information from the beginning and it's all changed, very possible, or my brain is shorting out, possible. So yeah, restricted area access, only accessible via water. That's what I just said. That it was restricted access by land. Okay. Robbie Harvey just put out a good one when he stitched JP. And what JP said, he fired off every question imaginable, all the questions that we had. And I think it would be really great if somehow we got any type of answers for any of those, but I doubt we ever will. But JP is saying that, he's got all these text messages and he's going to release all these text messages and he's going to show who I can't get over the fact he literally said, I'm going to show who did this to her so that she does get her justice. That is such a weird fucking thing to say. Like, such a weird fucking thing to say. And I don't know why what is he gonna, I mean, who is he trying to throw, who is he gonna try to throw under the bus is what I want to know. Because ow, 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 leg, ow, ow. I just wish the whole thing would just go back into place. Holy shit. Well, apparently now there's something coming out where on Friday, because she died on Saturday, I guess, according to how this particular video went. On Friday, she messaged people that she couldn't wait to see him on Sunday. Didn't know about that. I had no idea about that, but she actually messaged some friends on Friday saying that she couldn't wait to see them on Sunday. That's kind of odd. I mean, everything else I can kind of like explain away. Like, you thought about it, you didn't, you thought about it, you didn't. But like messaging somebody you're going to see them in 2 days. Why? Yeah, right. I wish, who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Mica Miller case. By the way, just for anybody who notices, I pronounce her name 2 different ways. That's just my brain shorting out. I am aware that I am mispronouncing her name on occasion. Unfortunately, my brain just kind of functions that way. I want to show you guys what I saw today. I'm pretty sure this is a newer. The video I'm about to show you will hold on. Infuriate. Here we go. Greetings, everybody. I am here to let you know that my silence is nothing more than wisdom and self-control so that we can win the war that is up ahead. And I am looking forward to presenting over 350 pieces of proof on what Mica thinks about her family and what Mica thinks about her lawyer and the things her lawyer's saying and the things that her family's saying and Charlotte and all these other people that are saying things. People forget that Mica corresponded with me more than anybody else on planet Earth. And I know her heart, and I have her text messages, and we're going to disprove all the lies that are out there. And there's so many lies, it seems like everybody thinks the world is flat. And you ask them why, and they say, well, it says on the news the world's flat. Or, Robbie Stinky Harvey said that it's flat. Or JLR Never Investigates says that it's flat. But when I get to court, I'm going to show you that the world is round. And you're going to be shocked at some of the things that you see that Mica says. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death. And Mica will have justice when it's all said and done. And I'm going to make sure of it. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.
Since John Paul Miller spoke my name specifically, I feel the need to respond. John Paul, I want to remind you, you had the opportunity to tell your truth on my platform. But you said I was not a very nice person. Well, I find that unfortunate because I've never hit a woman with my truck twice. And I never covered up my license plate while doing so. I've never posted topless photos of my wife on social media. And I've never placed tracking devices on her car. Well, you said the PI did it, but it's the PI you paid for. And I've never texted my wife's family saying I'm coming to get her and I'm armed and ready. And those are facts. I'm not even bringing up all the allegations against you, like the ones from your ex-wife, where she says you allegedly admitted to having relations with minors. She also says you allegedly have an addiction to women who walk the street and solicit their services. John Paul, you had the chance to clarify those allegations on my platform, but you said no. People don't believe the earth is flat because I told them. People believe what they see and what they hear. They heard you stand on stage saying demons are coming out of you. They heard you stand on stage and say you have the same personality type as Satan and Hitler. They heard you stand on stage and say you're praying for a hot wife who loves Jesus while you're married to Mica. They heard you stay on stage while your wife laid in a morgue. They heard you tell the congregation to walk out and not talk about it. Look, there's no doubt that you have very good text messages from your wife. You've been speaking with her since she was 14 years old. Y'all had a close relationship. Remember, you cheated on your ex-wife with her. I truly believe you're going to share some things that Mica said about you that are good things. And I truly believe you're going to share some good things from Charlotte and other people. But those positive text messages don't erase what you've done. I know you weren't by Mica the day she died. I've never said you were. But I do question the allegation of her telling the IRS about the church just days before her death. I do question why she felt the need to file a request for a protection order and separation 2 days before she died. I do question what happened Friday night. I do question why she was texting friends on Friday night saying she's looking forward to seeing them on Sunday. I do question what happened Saturday morning and who spoke with her Saturday morning. I do question the Robeson County Sheriff's Department. I do question the fishermen. I do question the kayakers. I do question the 2 bullet casings. I do question the live round. I do question how her body floated so far away that the fishermen never saw her. I do question him taking her stuff and going away and coming back. I do question your text message to the mission team after you were served those papers on Thursday. I do question why you were anxious to know who provided her money to file after she died. I do question why you asked, hey, the detective wants to know who gave her money. There's a lot I question. And it's okay to question. And I look forward to your response to all these questions. I look forward to your answers, and my platform is always available for you to tell your truth. But my platform is not available to Mica because she can no longer speak.
Greetings, everybody. I am here to let you know that my silence is nothing more than wisdom and self-control so that we can win the war that is up ahead. And
Is there more than that, or is it just... Hold on. It says part 1.
greetings, everybody. Say that the world is round, and you're going to be...
Part 2 is coming soon, it says. But there's no part 2. Alright, what's this? This looks interesting. Let's see. Mica filed a divorce and protective order 48 hours before she was found. In her final week, she made plans to get her hair cut, get help with her car payment. She was short after paying the divorce attorney, and planned on meeting friends at a church service on Sunday, April 28th. On Saturday, she was last seen dressed in uniform, leaving for her shift at a local restaurant she never showed. Is there more? Oh. 3 days later, her husband is seen and photographed at Coastal Grand Mall going into a sushi restaurant with his supposed girlfriend, Susie. He's looking right into the camera. 4 days later, he's seen photographed in a restaurant called King Street Grill with the same supposed girlfriend, Susie. She is looking at the camera with her eyebrows raised and her hand over her mouth. Sunday, April 28th, she was discovered with a gunshot wound in Lumberton, North Carolina, 1.5 hours away from home. Hours later, her husband holds a worship service as normal. After the service, he makes an announcement about her passing, directing all in attendance not to discuss in the building as they are leaving, and it's since been removed from YouTube. May 1st, he informed a news outlet that he could no longer participate in a previously scheduled interview as he was leaving town for a few days. May 3rd, Solid Rock Church, owned by JP, has permanently closed. May 4th, an arrest was made at the Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. Shit. Sorry, okay. Oh, that was it. That was it. So that's where that's at. Did I see him with Spider-Man? Yeah, what was that about? Apparently he is. Hi, how are you doing? Apparently he is going a little stir crazy, I guess, because apparently he ran outside in a Spider-Man costume to fuck with reporters, I guess. Hey. So I don't know if he's just going stir crazy, if he thinks this is all a fucking joke. I'm not really sure what that was about, to be honest. But it did cross my FYP, and I did see Spider-Man running through his yard. So yeah, I did see that. I just want to know what he thinks in those text messages he has of who is responsible, and she will get justice. He didn't want to be recognized, so he dressed up like Superman. Did they close the church for good? I thought they just kicked him out. I didn't realize the whole, like, I had seen people say that the Google, like, it had said it was closed on Google reviews. Hold on. Or are they, hold on. Yes. Have you guys seen the video of the ants attacking him from like 2015? When he is on the ground and the church is open. Yeah, I heard that they just released him from the church, is what I heard. I didn't know that the church itself closed. I heard that Google review was saying it was closed. But that they kicked him out. He owns the church and the land. I don't know if that's true. Is it? It's his. So I'm confused. I'm getting two different things. You thought it was his church? Okay, so we have 4 people saying it is his church and one person saying the church is open. So I don't know how, I don't really know how to. I'm pretty sure I could look that up. Should I call him? Call to find out. I know there's been protests at the church past few weeks. I did see that. Solid Rock Church closes. All right, let's look. It's been closed. Now, I don't know if it's open, but it was definitely closed. Mica Miller was suspect in now closed Solid Rock Church theft investigation. Oh, the theft investigation was closed, not the Mica was under investigation for embezzling church money. Did anybody know that? I had heard something weird about something like that. So she was looked at for embezzling money.
At Solid Rock Church.
Elder and pastor resigns and tells all. They changed the website name. Well, I mean, that's pretty smart. Yeah, I know that I've seen the protest things. I've definitely seen the protest things. So let's see if we can find this on here. If not, I know where else I can look. Yeah, this one. Well, I'm running it all out of order.
So apparently, JP Miller released a statement to basically explain why he didn't last week share the information that he said he was going to share with everyone that proved his innocence. I'm just going to let you guys take a listen. And before I do, special shout out to True Crime Re for posting this in the first place.
Greetings, everyone. So a few months after this, JP showed up to Allison's house trying to take the kids out for ice cream, but didn't allow him to because he then was also under the influence of some sort. Allison also states in her report that she chose a new church to go to, even found a new job just so she wouldn't be stalked. And JP found out where her new church was as well as her job. He even went as far as going to her new church and going to the counselor, asking him for counseling.
Who is this? So I know that they said that JP's attorney owns 200 acres by where she was found. But somebody's saying that there is also land that is owned by a John Miller. Right over by Fairbluff, I guess. But I mean, John Miller's a pretty, it's a pretty, common name. Let me see something. I could probably find it on here. So, let me see if I can. Oh, it's right here. Here we go.
JP. You all right, man? You okay? Huh? You okay?
Yoda,
What's the matter?
Hey, here.
Huh? What's the matter? They switched my medication. Makes me go crazy. Is somebody helping you?
Stop it.
I thought I was going to see Jesus. Okay. But you got Mark coming? Somebody called him, I think. Okay. So, it's biting me everywhere. Is your medication something they gave you? Yeah. You want me to make sure Mark's coming? But somebody's called him, right? Okay. All right. Hey, JP. I think Mark is coming. Mm-hmm. I had him try to get in touch with him again to make sure. Is that okay? Huh? He was like there's ants on you? There's no ants on you, though. It's just, maybe that's how you feel, but there's none on you. There's none on the grass. What kind of medicine do they have you on? All right, well, somebody's going to come, okay? Do I need to call 911? Do I need to call the medics? Yeah, we got somebody coming. You want some water or anything? You want some water? Yeah, he said okay if you got a little bottle of water.
That's only half the video, but I can only listen to the Elmo voice for so long. He kept going on about how much he wanted. What I was hearing is, I love my family. I would do anything for them. I just want to go to Jesus. I just want to meet Jesus. I just want to see Jesus. Jesus, 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 Jesus. The ants, get the ants off of him. The ants are biting me. The ants are everywhere. There was no ants. And there's a whole sermon he did where he was talking about how, right, Tammy? There was a whole thing he did where he was talking about where he had been on lithium and he this and he that and whatever. And then he turns around and tries to throw her under the bus because she was on this, that, or whatever. He sounded like, I don't know. He was, yeah, Jesus and ants. That was the sum up of it. Jesus and ants. Ants were bringing him to Jesus, apparently, because the ants were just, and I mean, that was about 60%. That went on for 6 minutes and 56 seconds of him laying on the ground, not moving at all. I mean, that's got to be uncomfortable. Just flattened to the ground, shrieking about ants and Jesus. So, obviously not the pillar of mental health that he wants to portray, because I mean, I've been manic as hell and never laid on the floor screaming about ants and Jesus, but we all handle mania differently. So, I mean, maybe that's his way. I have no idea. But he did, he had talked, and I don't have it on me. But he had talked about how, he was on lithium and he was having these issues and yada, yada, yada. I don't know how they didn't take him in for a cycle, to be honest. Sitting there mumbling about ants and Jesus. I don't know how they did not 5150 him, personally. But, that's what happens when you're a higher up in different places. You can talk your way out of shit. Someone on an anti-gypsy page on Facebook just doxed her, showed her parole profile. What's a parole profile? I don't even know what that is. What's a parole profile? I mean, if you went to the lawsuit with April and Gypsy and Co., all of their addresses were on there, apparently, because I got yelled at because I accidentally put it on there for 0.5 seconds. They're all on there anyway. I mean, well, Audra, this was about 4+ years ago, 4, 5, whatever. I think it was 2000. It was almost 10 years ago. I think that happened right there. The terms of her parole, well, I'm pretty sure they're the same standard ones as whatever. Do I think she's going to get the justice she deserves? I don't know. I don't really know, because I mean, the worst part of it is they're never going to be able to test for gunshot residue, which I don't know why they didn't. They're never going to be able to test for toxicology because he rushed the autopsy. They're never going to be able to have definitive answers on anything. Yeah, I said, 2014, 2015, they haven't been married for 10 years, obviously. So, we're never going to get definitive answers unless he comes out talking about, yeah, he did this, yeah, he did that, because in the end, no matter how much proof there is in his direction, we're never going to have the gunshot residue test. We're never going to have the toxicology. We're never going to have anything. Now, the only thing that I could ever hope, and I don't know about any of this, is the family did get to see her before she was cremated, and they said that there was bruises, fresh scratches, etc. on the body. I hope they had the forethought of mind to take pictures. Unfortunately, my brain is always in survival mode with everything. My brain is always in survival mode. So for me, the first thing that I would have done, as horrible or as gruesome as it sounds, is I would have pulled out my camera immediately, because I would have wanted to staple his ass to the wall. That the first thing I probably would have done was hauled out the fucking camera and started taking pictures of what I was finding, because obviously police weren't going to do shit about it. Coroner wasn't going to do shit about it. Nobody was going to do shit about it. So he did take pictures. Did he release them? Because I haven't seen them. And if they're somewhere, point me to them. We'll look at them together. because I've not seen anything. So the only thing that I can think of is if he's not releasing them, it's because they're filing, maybe they could file a civil suit. That's the only thing. You can't do a criminal because they deemed it not whatever. So I don't think they're gonna ever be able to do a fucking criminal suit, but they could try to do a civil suit or whatever. But so he says he took pictures and his sister said that she did. Why aren't they releasing them? I literally would be releasing them while I stood there. But that's the difference for me. I don't know. I mean, that's if I knew that I had something to be first fucking of all, not only would I have been taking pictures, the second thing I would have been done is going straight to the fucking police with those pictures and saying, stop the fucking cremation. I would have been throwing the biggest fucking fit on the planet saying, you can't cremate her. You need to do a better autopsy. He questioned the coroner. What did the coroner say? I don't know what they could have done. I don't know nothing. To me, it's always been shady as fuck that they let her body be determined by somebody that she had just filed to get away from. She had just filed to get away from him. The family should have been able to decide the cremation. The family should have been able to test for whatever they wanted to. The family should have. What they shouldn't have done is allow the person that she just filed to get away from to have any fucking say in any fucking thing. Shit. Don't move. Lay back down. So if I had went there and there was any kind of proof at all, I'd have been losing my mind, Hold on a second. What in the hell are they tearing into? Just move something out on the damn floor. I'll have to get up in a second because they're gonna walk back in here. I think Nikki knocked something around on the porch, and then I switched over my laundry. Okay, so I'm back. All right. Right. In my mind, not that it matters anything in my mind, but he was no longer the next of kin. I mean, if somebody files a divorce and from what I heard, a restraining order, but I don't think it went through at that point, the family should have been able to say, hey, wait, stop. Can we rethink this or something? But like I said, if I had seen bruises, I would have been screaming from the fucking rooftop. So who had medical POA? Because if there was a medical POA, now, by the way, medical POA will supersede marriage and whatnot. Who had the medical POA? It'd be weird that he would be not only married, right? Well, at death, but It would be weird that he would be both married to her and have POA. Well, I mean, not necessarily, but a little weird, I guess. To me, POA is like, for instance, if I wanted to make my mother-in-law POA because my husband's out of town, and she may have to make a decision for me while he's out of town. You really don't making your spouse your POA is kind of doubling down on something that doesn't, yeah, right. Your spouse automatically has POA. So to have a medical POA or any other type of POA would be somebody other than your spouse. Oh, to commit, he got a medical POA. Well, you don't need a medical POA to commit somebody. FYI, you don't. I know. I've done it. You can Baker Act somebody without having a medical POA. That you don't have to have a POA in order to commit somebody. So I don't know where you heard that, because you don't have to have one of those. So I just don't understand for the life of me why the fuck they let him have rights to decide when she's cremated. That's just wild to me. And I can't understand how the police could be so goddamn sloppy that they don't even test for goddamn gunshot residue. And apparently the coroner said that it was an unreliable test. Well, where the hell, then why are they doing it everywhere else? If it's so unreliable, then why do they do it in every other fucking case? What, because she was in the water, so it's unreliable? If she's in the water and it's still on her hands, that's pretty fucking reliable to me. Right, but didn't she, I get that they were legally still married, so he retains those rights until the divorce is final. I get that. When was the restraining order filed, though? Did she put in the paperwork and it didn't go through yet? Like, how did that happen? How did that happen? Because I know she had filed it, but I don't know if it went through. Because if it went through, which I don't think it did, that would have nullified. That they could have done that, but far as I'm aware, she had filed it and it hadn't gone through yet. So, but at the very least, I don't understand why. Yeah, he got it. No, she got he got served with papers, to separate 2 days before. They said she filed it at the wrong place. What? You file it down at your courthouse. This isn't. How do you file it at the wrong fucking place? You go down to your courthouse and you file it. How can you file it at the wrong place? That don't even make sense. I've never even heard that. The lawyer said she hadn't got around to it. Okay, so right now, just in this live alone, I've heard 3 different things. I heard that she filed it and it hadn't gone through yet, is what I heard. I have no idea where the rest of these stories are coming from, and I think that's where a lot of the problems is in this case, is we all get we get spun in 75 different directions. Because I'm hearing shit on this live that I have never heard, but people are hearing it from somewhere. So obviously there's information going on in places where people are getting, this bite of this and this bite of that. I've never heard any of the shit that I just read up there. None of it. And I don't even understand how you can file a restraining order in the wrong place. That don't even make sense. You go down to your courthouse and you file it. I know. I've done it. I've gotten one. I know how it works. I don't really understand how you can file it in the wrong place. There's only one place to file it, as a court. Yeah, I heard she filed it but hadn't been put through yet. It was served 2 days before her death. That's what I heard, Tammy. That's what I heard. Because usually it takes 2 weeks to get a hearing in order to have it put through. And if you tried to put it somewhere wrong, they would at least point you in the right direction, 100%. Yes, Ashley. Yes. We're not talking about divorce. We're talking about a restraining order. We're talking about a restraining order. You go down to your courthouse and you file it. Like that's all there is to it. You go down to your courthouse and you file it. There's no, there's not a bunch of steps to it. That's literally all you do. and then they will give you a court date for within 2 weeks of getting it to find out if it's going to be extenuated past the emergency TPO. Okay, so my town has a courthouse and a judicial center, so here it would be possible to file in the wrong place. You would file the restraining order at the judicial center, right? But when she showed up, they would be like, "No, this isn't the right place. Go here." They wouldn't accept it, file it, say it's in the wrong place. They would say, not here, go next door. Yeah, they wouldn't accept it to begin with because they would know that's the wrong place to file it. They would say, "Okay, no, not here, go next door." Been there, tried to go do something and then it's the wrong place. March 26th, the restraining order was dismissed. She didn't file it till 2 days before she died. How could it be dismissed weeks before? The fuck? Do you mean April 26th? Help. Somebody help me. What is she talking about? Can somebody else extenuate that? Because I don't really so you're telling me she filed a restraining order in March that was dismissed. So she filed another one 2 days before she died. Because she filed one 2 days before she died. Crystal, you're fine. I mean, that's been all over the place that she filed one 2 days before she died, along with the papers to leave him. So when was there a dismissed restraining order? Hold on, let's pull it out and look. I like to educate myself, so let's educate here. I don't want to say wrong things or whatever. All right. All right. Let's see what this says, because this talks about it being dismissed. So here we go. On Monday, March 11th, she filed a restraining order against him. To establish a pattern of stalking or harassment, paperwork requires 2 police reports to be attached to the filing that the document either first or second degree harassment or stalking. She shared 3 reports. The first police report was given on March 3rd. Yada, yada, yada. The second report is March 5th. The third report is on March 11th. No, thank you. All right. According to the restraining order, she specifically requested 3 things. On March 26th, the bench trial was held. The case was dismissed without prejudice and no restraining order was issued. ABC 15 submitted an additional FOIA request asking for the documents relating to the outcome, and it was denied. Let's see. They did get the post-nup agreement. So they were right that there was a restraining order that was not put through and dismissed, which is wild to me, because if you have 3 reports showing very blatant stalking, harassing, or anything that's what she turned in, the fact that it was denied kills me, which again reiterates the fact that, and I still got one, so what the fuck does that tell you? I made all that shit up, right? Fuck you. Anyway, So, oh, hey, what's this? Oh, here's the timeline. Let's look at a timeline. Let's see how far back the timeline goes. Oh, wait, are we just doing this just for the day? All right, let's see. All right, so hold on. Here's a timeline, y'all. Let's do a timeline. All right, January 2023. According to a police report, she stated that her and her husband separated. They were married in 2018. In October 8th of 23, they officially filed for divorce in October of 2023. In February 8th of 2024, she was involuntarily hospitalized for 48 hours. No, thank you. February 10th, she was discharged from the hospital, and staff informed her that he had picked up her purse and car keys. When she left, where she left her car, it was gone. February 21st, she reported to police that he fraudulently initiated her involuntary hospitalization and stole her car. She knew her husband since she was 10 years old, and he groomed her while she was working for him at the church that they were wed at in 2018. When officer reached out to JP, Mica's estranged husband, said she suffers from episodes on an annual basis around Christmas time. He alleged that she spends large amounts of money when she stops taking her prescriptions. Since the car was considered marital property and the two were still legally married, no charges were filed. That sounds about accurate. I got one of those one of the papers for what? I didn't get nothing for nothing because I don't talk about nothing or nobody and allege things of people. I don't go around doing whatever anybody is doing that's getting these papers. All right, so March 11th, Mica called the police after finding her tire slashed. It was later identified as a tire deflation device available for purchase online. She named a potential suspect, but they said there wasn't enough evidence. The same day, she reported that the same suspect approached her at a gas station. She said she didn't want to speak with him. As she pulled out her phone to record, they drove away. He later showed up at the East Coast Honda dealership where she was getting her car fixed and found a tracking device. She reported she was trying to get a restraining order because she was afraid for her life. The officer requested to meet her to get the GPS device, but she agreed. While out front of the magistrate's office, an officer saw a white Honda drive by, and she said that was the suspect. The vehicle sped up and drove away. They issued for both of them to appear for a bench trial on March 26th regarding a civil case where she received a restraining order. March 13th, someone at the church filed a police report alleging an offender, who they said was Mica, transferred donation funds from the church Zelle and Cash App to her personal bank account. You know, I don't understand for the life of me why they do this. Obviously, I'm live, so why are you asking me if I'm still here? All right. The donations were meant for the church's 501c3 Dare to Care mission. Its goal was to collect money for Kenya. The person who filed the report said $1,199 was transferred to the personal account. Report ends with an investigation will follow, but they never followed up. Police later said there was insufficient evidence to pursue charges. I want to know who narked. Who knew? Who knew that she did it? That's weird. Or maybe somebody had gotten a hold of her Cash App, did it to try to frame her. Ever think of that? March 26th, the bench trial is held in the case of Miller versus Miller. The outcome of the hearing is not yet known, although they submitted a request to the Freedom of Information Act, which we just read that it was not given. April 26th, the day before, it was the standard thing of JP has an alibi that we don't know if there is an actual alibi. But anyway, the 27th at 10:13, she's seen on her Ring camera leaving her residence. At 11, she is seen on her Ring camera arriving at her residence. 11:38, she's seen leaving her residence again. At 12:12, This part right here really bothers me. It's always bothered me. This doesn't make any sense. So somebody explain this to me. At 12:12, she's seen on store surveillance walking into Dick's pawn shop. At 12:12, she was seen walking into. At 12:13, she's seen buying a weapon. In 1 minute, she got to the weapons, talked to somebody, got the weapon unlocked, etc. Walked to the thing and did all of that in 60 seconds. She walked in, found exactly what she was looking for, didn't even look. She literally walked through the door, walked up, grabbed it, snagged it, and went up to the thing. That is wild to me. And that's one thing that has never made any sense. How she can be seen on surveillance walking in at 12:12 and be seen at the register at 12:13. I don't care if you're the fucking Flash. I don't see how you can do something that quickly. You cannot walk into a store, find your item. It's probably locked in a fucking case. I mean, I don't know how theirs is, but it's probably locked in a case. Wave somebody down, get them to get the case open, and then get up to the register all in 60 seconds. In Kentucky, we don't have to do paperwork. I had to, oh well, no, that's not true. They ran my name. They ran my name. It took 20 minutes. So it took in Kentucky, it took 20 minutes. They ran my name real quick, made sure that I had no, crazy things on my record, and I walked out within 20 minutes. I walked in, got what I wanted, walked out in about 20 minutes. I don't care. I don't care if you called the store up ahead of time and said, "Hey, I want gun CQF for $437. Can you have it at the register?" Not going to happen. They're not going to do it. So if she was seen buying okay, so explain this to me. This makes no sense. We're going to go over this one more time. 2012, 12:12, she was seen walking in. At 12:13, within 60 seconds, she was seen buying the weapon. 19 minutes later, she was leaving after purchasing a weapon and ammunition. So more than likely they did the whole little 20-minute check thing between 12:13 and 12:34. It's about how long it took me to get mine back, was about 20 minutes. But you're telling me that she went into a store, grabbed what she wanted because it's sitting next to her in a case in 60 seconds. How? Fucking how can you walk into a store, grab what you need, and get to the front in 60 fucking seconds? Make it make sense, because this fucking doesn't. 12:34, she was leaving after purchasing it and ammunition. 1:06, her black Honda Accord is seen traveling Highway 501 near 4 Mile Road in Conway. At 1:27, it is seen arriving at Grocery and Grill, which is located at Highway 41 in Mullins. 8 minutes later, she's leaving the store after buying a drink and gas. 12:54, which is an hour and 19 minutes later. An hour and 19 minutes later, a 911 call was made from her number, asked if her phone could be located, and then threatened. She hung up the phone before further information could be gathered, and they tried to call her back multiple times and was unable to make contact. Within 9 minutes, they were dispatched. At 3:05, contact was made with the state park superintendent. At 3:20, they request a phone ping. At 3:31, they begin to search. At 3:33, a drone was dispatched. At 3:42, a telecommunicator contacted Verizon to request an updated location ping. At 3:50, detectives with an air SUAV arrived at the state park. While conducting an aerial search, detectives were approached by a person who said he found a bag while fishing with Mica's ID inside. So he walked up to the place. No, her car's not white. Her car's black. Also, by the way, some of the cars that were shown on surveillance, one was a fucking Civic. So her Accord was actually, time-stamped driving as a fucking Civic. So figure that the fuck out. All right, so while conducting an aerial search at 3:50, detectives were approached by a person who said he found a bag while fishing with her ID inside. The detectives took possession of the bag. Findings said that this person heard crying and then a gunshot. The person stated he went further into the slough where he found the bag 2 feet from the water's edge and does not continue to look around. At 4:23, an individual contacted Robinson 911 and said he located a body in the water. He'd been fishing in his kayak and he found the body, and they secured the area for investigation. At 5:30, they chief detectives for RCSO arrive at the incident location. At 5:54, they arrive. Which it just said they did. At the instant, they just said that. Medical examiner was contacted and requested. CSI technician photographed the area of investigation to include the vehicle belonging. The items of evidence were collected from her car and the incident location. They loaded a Sig Sauer gun case in the passenger seat of the vehicle, a box of ammunition in the center console of the vehicle. They found a receipt for the handgun from a pawn shop and recent receipt from a convenience store in the vehicle. Both receipts were dated for the same day. The serial number on the weapon and the crime scene matched the gun box that was found in the Honda Accord. At 7:11, the firearm is located in the water. And then it goes into what happened with the church and whatnot. So May 3rd, her sister was special administrator of the estate. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Back up. Although JP said Mica died by suicide at this time, the medical examiner had not released her manner of death. On the same day, May 2nd, her sister applies to be the special administrator of the estate less than a week after her passing and 4 days before Robeson County medical examiner announced her death as a suicide. In the affidavit, she experienced abuse and violence from her husband. On May 3rd, they named her special administrator of the estate. May 5th, some dispute the manner of death, and he holds a memorial service. On May 6th, they released the cause of death, saying self-inflicted. It was not in the back of the head, as it has been speculated. That's weird. On May 10th, JP files a petition for a formal appointment to be the fiduciary of the estate. On May 13th, they requested assistance from the FBI. And that's where it went from that point right there. Give me 1 second. You know, you come out of here and then you whine and bitch and moan and you want back in the room. Come on. Come on. So if the sister was named part of the state, why the hell couldn't they fix something, I guess? I don't know. Why would he not look for someone if he found her stuff? I mean, I don't know about you, but like let's put ourselves in the shoes. So we're fishing, whatever. We hear a noise, hear a gunshot. We see a bag. Would you investigate? I mean, most of us probably would. I probably would. I'm the token white girl that's running up the stairs when she should be running out the door. So, I mean, I probably would investigate because I have zero common sense when it comes to that kind of shit. So, I'm not really sure why he didn't investigate. Okay, but he didn't call the police either. So he finds her stuff and doesn't even call the police. That, this stuff has been left there. I mean, maybe in the back of his head, it was like, hey, this isn't a big deal. I'm going to drop the stuff off at a police department. But he heard crying. He heard a gunshot. He sees affects, and he doesn't call the police. I mean, that is weird. According to Natasha, it was a firecracker. That is literally the first time I have ever heard that, ever. But I will say, considering that now we know that there was 2 casings and a live round, it would make sense for it possibly to be something else, because he heard 1 shot and there was 2 spent casings, 1 live casing. Well, discussing a case, and I went through this with talking about April. Discussing a case is one thing. Talking about theories is that's standard true crime. What I'm not saying is, I'm not saying he did this, he did that. This is how he did it. This is how he did that. You know, I don't know how she covers the case. I have no idea. I don't watch her. So, but something in here isn't lining up. Why, if the fisherman heard what he thought he heard, why didn't he call the police and say, I think I heard this noise and I found stuff. Should you come and look at this? I mean, I think that would have been within the realm of possibility of, I heard a weird noise. Now I found this stuff. Should you come and search the area? I think that would have been something that could have, that he could have done. Of course, hindsight's 2020. You don't necessarily always think you're going to stumble across, a murder victim. So, so people shoot snakes out there. That's what they're saying. Okay, now to be fair, all right, let's take that aspect. Let's take that aspect. I can tell you that when I first moved to the country, it was very strange to me to hear guns. Okay, because you'd hear them randomly. Like, I can sit out on my porch and hear guns being shot off. Any day. Any day. I can sit out on my porch and listen to gunfire. Any day. Doesn't matter. Would I call the police? No. It's normal. So if that's the case, maybe that's why he didn't. Because I can tell you right now, if I heard what I hear every other going out there in the morning, and you hear bow 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 bow, I wouldn't call. That's normal. That's absolutely fucking normal here. I heard one go off recently, really close, and we kind of looked out to see what was going on. But I mean, if that's something, if that is a case where, okay, well, it's normal to hear that kind of thing, would you still call? Maybe not. But if you put that in conjunction with the fact that you find a pouch somewhere with stuff in it, and you think you've heard a gun go off, would you put 2 and 2 together and then call? I don't know. The thing is none of us were there. None of us were in that particular position. I mean, as far as that goes, the fisherman didn't have to come up and be like, hey, I found this shit either. He didn't have to come up and be like, I found this shit. He could have just wandered on his own little way. He could have just kept going. He could have not even thought about it. He could have whatever. He did. He said that he heard crying and then a gunshot. So, I mean, to me, if I heard the crying and then I heard it, I don't know. Like, for me anyways, I'm one of those people, I'm super paranoid. I'm like super paranoid. So if I heard crying and I thought I heard a gunshot and I find a bag of stuff, I'm probably going to call. That's just me though. I mean, I'm probably going to call. That's just who I am. Can't forensics tell if the casings were shot from the same guy? Yeah. Why haven't we heard anything about that? Because they have these casings, but they've never said whether or not they match. According to the family, they found 2 spent and 1 live there. Were they found to be a match from hers? That would absolutely open up what the fuck, because I mean, I don't know anybody. I mean, Not that I have some big, huge expertise in self-unaliving, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to aim at a tree twice before I aim at myself. And that's just me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe somebody would to try, but they said that she was very familiar with weapons. She knew how they work. She knew how they function. She knew all of that. So I don't think she'd feel the need to make a test run. Plus, there was a live one there. There was 2 spent and 1 live. So, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely, there's definitely a lot of weird things. And the problem is everybody looks like a suspect because there's so much stuff that we'll never know because the body was disposed of. They're never going to be able to tell. Well, did she have GSR in her hands? We don't know. We didn't test. Was she drugged in some capacity? Don't know. Didn't test. Did she have bruise? I don't know. How do you end up 14 away from your stuff though? I want to know the only thing that's got me is this, and maybe somebody can explain this to me because I'm not getting it. How was the gun found so far away from her? Guns don't really float. At least none of them I've ever had float. And when you shoot, your hand drops. It drops maybe 2-3 feet away. If it really flings out 2-3 feet away, maybe. I doubt even that. It would probably drop within about 12 to 18 inches. How was it so far away? He didn't request shit. Why didn't they do one? If he requested one, why didn't they do one? Come on. He didn't request shit. He shoved that. If he could have taken her body and shoved it in the oven that day, he probably would have done it. If you want to find out what happened to somebody you love, what the first thing you don't do is be like, we're going to do cremation and we're going to do it now. You're going to be like, I need the autopsy. I need a GSR report. I need to see if she had water in her lungs. I need to see if she had dirt in her lungs. I need to see if she what her toxicology was. There's so many different tests that could have been done that were not done. Was she held under fucking water first? I mean, like, we know nothing because no tests in any capacity were done. None. He asked for the cremation immediately. Family fought him. It'll be a while before the results come back. They literally said they did not do one. It's been in numerous articles that there was no tests done. No GSR, no toxicology. It is said in numerous articles that no tests were performed. So now he's saying there's a toxicology that's pending. Because I read with my own 2 fucking eyeballs, the coroner said that the GSR report would be unreliable. It's used in every other fucking case that's ever happened in the history of ever, but not today. Not in this case. That's weird. I'm sorry. I literally read that with my own 2 eyeballs. That it would be unreliable. Numerous fish tanks, like 6, 7. You heard he asked for toxicology. Why didn't he ask for GSR? You know, the way she actually went out. Why didn't he ask for that? There was no GSR test done. Why didn't he ask for that? You've read they took samples while the family was there. I did not see that, but that does not mean it did not happen. At the time, let's see. At the time where I was looking stuff up, unless things have happened, which, let's be real, things happen all the time. All right, let's see what this is. All right, let's go down a conspiracy rabbit hole. It is hard to get somebody committed. I know this. So that is something to wonder that he did manage to get her committed. Okay, let's go down a rabbit hole. So this is weird questions that have not been, discrepancies. Let's go through discrepancies. Where was Mica Miller's hand tattoo on the surveillance video? Sure as shit, it is not there. They released a series of still images from surveillance footage of Mica Miller entering Dick's pawn shop in Myrtle Beach. Many have pointed out that the tattoo on her right hand is not visible in these photos. Upon close inspection of these images, no evidence of her tattoo is visible in any of them. Fit News has submitted multiple FOIA requests related to this investigation, including a request for the surveillance video footage to determine if the reason for the tattoo is simply the angle of the camera. I'm telling you right now, you can't see it because they're showing her hand on the video and they're showing the tattoo and you can't see shit. So there you go. Yeah, it takes a while to clean all these motherfuckers. I can tell you that. What's going on with the cars? Oh, that is fucking wild. Remember when I told you guys that they were talking about her car being an Accord and then they took a picture of a fucking Civic? I'm looking at the car that they showed of it driving. That is absolutely not her car. They have them side by side. All right, multiple images of Mica Miller's car captured by surveillance and flock cameras on her final day were released by RCSO. She had been driving a black Honda Civic. Is it a Civic or a fucking Accord? Which sources told Fit News her dad had helped her purchase. The license plate on this vehicle was 301 AKH. While doing a search on this license plate number, it comes back to a 2003 Chrysler Town & Country minivan whose owner is dead. The vehicle that she paid $232.92 in taxes on one day before her death. So she paid taxes on her car just to, literally bite the bullet the next day. Was a silver 2019 Honda Accord with the license plate WUP 747. According to a Myrtle Beach police incident report, the account of her close friends, her husband took the silver Honda Accord away from her when she was admitted to a mental health facility February 8th, 2024. The car was photographed in Charlotte, North Carolina, 4 days after Miller's death. The $132.16 tax bill for the black Honda Civic she was driving the day before, the day she died, remains outstanding. It is possible, since the Civic was a newer purchase, that his plates hadn't updated across all of his systems yet. Even so, questions remain. Why would Miller pay taxes on a car, the car that her husband took, that she wasn't driving? And why would she pay those taxes one day before she died? Why was the same car spotted in North Carolina 4 days after her death? And who was driving it? Why do we not know this? I have no idea. I didn't even think about this. How was she able to purchase a gun? How had she been able to purchase a gun if she had recently been committed involuntarily to a mental health facility? This is another question that could be easily answered with the release of records relating to her admission in February. Those records should be accessible to her immediate family following an application filed on May 3rd. On behalf of her sister. The purpose of that filing, which provided the public its first glimpse at some of the allegations of JP, was to appoint Francis as special administrator. The appointment of special administrator was requested to preserve her portion of the marital estate, to obtain confidential records from mental health, and to gain access and to take possession of any wills, cemetery plots, insurance policies, and safe deposit box. The process to have someone involuntarily committed begins with an affidavit from a family member, friend, or other individual stating that they may have a mental illness and is likely to cause serious harm to themselves or others if not immediately hospitalized. Reasons for this belief are also included in the affidavit. This is all true. Once it is filed, if the person is not already in a mental health facility, a pickup order is given to detain them and bring them to such a facility. That's true. Once there, a doctor is required to evaluate the individual within 24 hours. It's actually 72 according to Baker Act, but apparently here it's 24. If the person has a mental illness, because of this illness, they are likely to cause harm to themselves or others, and specific reasons why they would if they do not get treatment. If they do not meet these standards or agree to ongoing treatment, it ends there. If they do certify that the criteria, the information is sent to a probate judge and an issue is ordered by the court. According to the incident report and accounts from friends, Mica Miller was released on February 10th, which is within the 2 days. Indication that it was not issued by a judge to continue her involuntary hospitalization, in which case it would have been legal for her to purchase the firearm. She was involuntarily committed, but was not set to stay. They tried to commit her, and she was released in the 24-hour window, which means she was not set to stay there, which meant she was deemed safe to leave. So when they say that she was involuntarily committed, she was involuntarily committed for check, not involuntary commitment. She was involuntarily checked. They actually let her leave 2 days, which is the max they can hold you. They let her go. She was not deemed to be a danger to herself or others and was released. She was released. She was on a hold, but she was not actually deemed where she had to stay. And that's how she could have got the gun, because she was not deemed a danger to herself or others. So, Robeson County Police insist that Miller, JP, was traveling to Charleston, South Carolina at the time of the death. So far, they have released a single flock picture of his truck, not necessarily him, just his truck. The windows are tinted and it's impossible to see inside the cab. The only person police publicly reference as providing an alibi is his romantic partner. She drove to Charleston separately, giving Miller access to more than one vehicle. For example, are there additional surveillance photos or timestamp images of Miller himself? Are there individuals, preferably those not romantically linked, who can confirm his alibi? What other evidence did they do to obtain the alibi and rule him out as a suspect? Stands for one picture of his truck that you couldn't see driving the truck. And if they have additional corroborating information, why haven't they released it? What did J.P. Miller retrieve from his wife's apartment after her death? As previously noted, one of the central allegations against JP, according to his friends and family, is that he used her involuntary commitment to a mental health facility to access her electronic devices and search her belongings. His purported objective was to seize evidence she told friends she'd been accumulating against him in anticipation to their upcoming divorce. An incident report PDF reveals that he went to his wife's apartment 3 days after her death to get her belongings. Was he alone? For how long? What did he take? Have police asked him what he allegedly took? Is there an inventory of the items he allegedly removed? Was there an autopsy? According to the interview, the body was released to her husband April 30th, 2024. When asked, he told her grieving family he wouldn't allow them to see the body unless they first signed a certificate of cremation. So they were the ones who had to sign off, but he wouldn't let them see her. Just fucking weird, but whatever. Lithium wouldn't prevent you from getting what, though? From getting, what is PG? Even more concerning, in an interview with Banfield, they claim Robeson's County investigator officer told them remains were not tested for water in her lungs or gunpowder on her body. They did not do an autopsy or toxicology report. Lithium doesn't stop you from getting pregnant, but it can seriously fuck up the baby. FYI, I've been on it 4 times. Trust me, I know all about fucking lithium. I can answer any question y'all have on lithium. Lithium is why I look like this, FYI. I was 76 pounds. I was being monitored on lithium weekly blood draws, weekly. And from here to here, it went off the charts and destroyed my thyroid, and I gained like 100 pounds in under 6 months. I know all about lithium. I've been on it 4 fucking times. So I know exactly what the fuck lithium does and does not fucking do. And it will kill your grass if you dump it on your grass because it's a salt. But anyways, they did not do an autopsy or toxicology report. In North Carolina, the decision to whether an autopsy will be conducted is made by the medical examiner. It is not known why in death with this many questions, one was not conducted. But according to the family, her body was cremated, eliminating any chance for a secondary autopsy. So there was no autopsy. There was no autopsy. There was no test for gunpowder residue. Her remains were not tested for water in her lungs. And they did not do a toxicology or an autopsy. It's my, this is my game room. So how's that? Did we all learn something new today? Because I did not realize there was no autopsy. Not even an autopsy. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I did not know that. Hey, Tara. So no GSR test, no lung in the water test, no, not even an autopsy was done. Nothing. And the family had to sign off on cremation in order to be seen, for them to see her. I will tell you right fucking now, you could not get me to sign shit, and I would be doing every injunction possible to be able to see that body. I wouldn't sign shit. Nope. I'll tell you as a person, I've done it. I was supposed to sign on a fucking cremation, and I said, you can answer my fucking questions or you ain't getting my fucking signature. I got zero problem. And I didn't even get along with the man, and I pulled that one. I said, you're going to answer my fucking questions or I ain't signing shit. It says that there was no autopsy done. No autopsy. Which is fucking wild to me. I thought autopsies were standard and mandated. But according to this article, the family says that there was not even an autopsy done. Now, this is one article. That does not mean that this is be all end all. This is not. Money does talk. Money does fucking talk. That is a reality. That is a very big reality. Let's see. Here is that one. Hold on. What's this? Let's look this one up. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if this has anything interesting. Hold on. Okay, that didn't really help. It said that they're going to talk to the family. That didn't fucking help. Everything stop. There's like almost nothing in the. If you try to look anything up, everything stops mid-May. After they decided it was whatever. Well, this is saying she did not get one. So I'm trying to see if there is. You don't get a partial autopsy, dude. That's not how any of this works. You either get one or you don't. You don't get a half autopsy. There is not a full one. You either get one or you don't. Kyler says, I've been able to confirm she was cremated and a second autopsy could not be performed. They won't be able to do a full autopsy from start to finish because she was cremated. However, samples, hold on, let's look at this up real quick. Continue. I fucking hate Reddit. All right. Hold on. That didn't fucking help me. All right, hold on. It just keeps saying that they've it just keeps saying that he saw that there was a gunshot in her head. That's it. An independent, that a second autopsy, an independent autopsy could not be done because the body was cremated, is what they're saying. A second one, which would mean that you'd think there was a first one, but apparently in the first one, basically he looked at her head, went, "Yep, there's a hole. She died of a gunshot." That was the extent of the autopsy, is what they're saying. The autopsy was him seeing a hole in her head and saying, "Yeah, there's a hole in the head, and yeah, she probably put it there." I've seen cases like the Heather Chapman case, where the holes don't even line up or make sense. And they say it's self-inflicted because of information that was given to them by spouses who should be looked at. I mean, there's lots of cases where the dominant side is the exit wound, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, let's see. Hold on. Discrepancies in the details. One of the reasons her father believes she didn't take her own life is due to the exact location where where she was found. The bank where the bird boxes and stuff are is where the shell casings and such were found. The gun was found for that right in the water. Then the body was found 40 meters away, and the water there doesn't flow at all. It's just stagnant. So the gun was found 40 meters away from the body. How does that work? I have no idea. Fisherman who was on the lake near where she allegedly took her own life said he heard cries and then a gunshot before finding her belongings, which included a Bible, her driver's license, and $500 in a fanny pack. But yet she had to borrow money to pay her car tags. She had to borrow money to pay her car tags, but she's got $500 in a bag, plus she just bought a gun. I heard crying. I heard a gunshot. The crying stopped, and I felt something bad had happened. But he didn't think, call the police. Something bad happened. I found stuff. I heard stuff. Something bad happened. I didn't call the police. That makes sense. He said he didn't find or see her body and is hoping to quash accusations. Quit trying to be investigators. I didn't do this. There's no way in the world I would harm anybody, even my worst enemy. I was just there fishing. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I could have done something. I wish I would have done something, he said. That was the extent of that article. Literally, you can't find the... Okay. All right, here's something from May 22nd in People magazine. It says that local sheriff's office claims FBI has launched parallel investigation. But it is not investigating Mica's death. The FBI has been brought in, but it is not to investigate her death. But they will not say what the nature of the investigation is, just that they are involved and they're not looking at her death. The sheriff's office believes he was not involved in the death. There's no evidence connecting him to the death. The FBI investigating separate from her death. Her death has been ruled a suicide. I cannot give you the details. They are investigating, but we're not saying why. We have no comment and can neither confirm or deny an investigation because of policy. It is not connected to, it's not the same investigation. Yeah, no. So, my mom committed suicide in November of last year. I'm sorry to hear that. And autopsy and toxicology was required. We have no say. I can't figure out for the life of me why the fuck they would. Like, that blows my mind. Like, I'm wondering if that's got to be a fucking typo. Like, not even so much the toxicology, but a fucking autopsy. They're saying that there was no autopsy done. That's wild. That's wild. I can't even imagine them not doing at least a fucking autopsy more than just, yeah, there's a hole in her head. When my son died, we had to have an autopsy, no question. I've been Googling. There's nothing other than the article saying, 2 articles that said no autopsy were performed. Everything stops after May 15th. And then there's a few extra ones around May 20th. All right, let's look at this one. This is the Sun. I don't even know. This is a fucking tabloid. So then again, all right, hold on. The hell? All right, hold on. See, this says, based on the nature of the wound, it is consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot wound reported in the autopsy. So this is saying that there was. I don't know. On Justin's live with JP, he said he told them he wanted one, and they said no need, and that they ordered a toxicology report, but who knows if that's true. So the Sun is saying, but then again, they could just be saying from the fact that they looked at her head. That's not necessarily an autopsy, a full autopsy. Hold on. Did Mica Miller have an autopsy? Let's do it this way and ask full on. Why did Mica Miller not get a full autopsy, especially considering all of the unknowns around her case? I don't really consider just looking at somebody's head a autopsy. That's making an observation. That's not an autopsy. An autopsy is, pulling out the organs, weighing the organs, looking for malformations, weighing the brain. That's an autopsy. You don't just look at somebody's head and go, yeah, you know what? There's a hole. She was shot. That's not an autopsy. That's an observation. And I can't understand why there wouldn't be a whole ass actual autopsy done. So, I don't know. That seems odd. I don't know, A, why you wouldn't push for one. B, how you would even allow that to fly. I know autopsies are expensive. They run about, or at the time that we were looking into one, it were about $2,500. Which was stupid. He didn't need an autopsy. I mean, it was evident that, cancer had killed him, but my brother didn't want to let that go. So he was looking into having an independent autopsy for what fucking reason, I have no idea. And I know that they're expensive, but at the same time, I definitely think that this would warrant a better look. All it just keeps saying is that says that she died from self-inflicted gunshot wound. It doesn't say anything. All right, here we go. All right, here, 5 days ago, no autopsy was performed. Hold on, this was 5 days ago. June 5th. She did not appear to leave a will, leading to court battles between her immediate family and husband. She was found dead of a gunshot wound, and authorities deemed her death as suicide, but her immediate family members turned to the court to represent her estate and gain her possessions instead of her husband. On Wednesday, a court proceeding is scheduled to be held in family court where a judge reviewed documents submitted by both parties. In the filing, the document names JP and Solid Rock Church as the defendants. An agreement was made between the attorneys of the sister and JP, which led to a temporary consent of order issued by the judge in the case. The order will allow Mica Miller's family to have possession of her property, in which the authorities had from the investigation of her death. Family members of Mica Miller appeared alongside local attorney Regina Ward at a press conference after the proceeding. Right now, we are very happy and satisfied that JP has been advised by his attorney to allow us to get the property in our possession. The document states that all possessions that were recovered by the sheriff's office will be handed over to Ward after the investigation concludes. The order also issues a restraining order, which prohibits JP and Sarah Francis from contacting one another other than through their attorneys, coming to each other's residences or places of employment, or threatening physical harm to each other. Francis applied to be the special administrator on May 3rd. It was appointed the role, the order states. Ward urged lawmakers to revisit a bill called the Coercive Control Bill and to rename the legislation Mica's Law. Because if this were enacted, it would have saved her life. If passed, yada, 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 yada. Okay, so, the FBI assisted in the initial death investigation. It's not clear whether the agency is still investigating the case. The FBI policy is that the agency does not confirm or deny criminal investigations. There is a online record state a hearing is set in probate court July 29th. Days before her death, she filed a separate support and maintenance request to legally separate. They were arguing over her stuff. South Carolina law states that when a deceased does not have a will or children, the surviving spouse will receive the entire estate. She doesn't care about that. She wants the other stuff. To date, no note has been found. Winslow said that Mica suffered from mental health issues for years. Doesn't think that not having a will is weird. She was young. No autopsy was performed. Ward and Winslow confirmed, and Mica Miller's body was cremated. It was done so because of the wishes of the family. The family signed off on a cremation. They wanted cremation. However, JP used the cremation as a bargaining tool, saying that they originally told her that he would not let the family see her body unless they took down all the bad things they posted about him. He said that after she spoke with him, he decided to let the family see the body, but with a different condition. What I was told later was he still put in a requirement, oh yeah, you can see the body, but not unless the parents signed for the cremation certificate. When the family saw the body, said that there were signs that led to more questions regarding to her cause of death, not closure. Another question mark surrounding her death is why no autopsy was performed. There was no autopsy because the family signed off on cremation. Look, I wasn't there. Anything I say would be hearsay, but that sounds like a story you heard, not like the kind of facts that you would show me. Sounds like the family is putting out their narrative on what they think to be maybe true and indicative of the position throughout this entire matter, one side of the story. That statement is indicative of the position Winslow is taking in regards to the battle over Mica's estate and the online discourse surrounding Mica's death. He's not worried about talk on social media or past allegations against JP. His goal is to make his case by presenting facts in court, not court of public opinion. So no, there wasn't. Yeah, they basically want her phone. That's what they were saying in the article. They want her phone. Which by now, if there was anything on that phone, it'd be deleted anyway. They'd have to get some type of a something to basically fix everything and reinstate it and yada yada yada. But the family did want cremation, and it was, you can cremate her, but you have to do A, B, and C first. But if they had, my question is this though. So if the family wanted cremation and they had to sign off on the cremation, why didn't they wait on the cremation and buy an autopsy themselves? Because if they were required to sign off on the cremation, all they had to do was not sign the cremation papers and try to instate another autopsy. I'm not really sure what that means. But if they're the ones who wanted the cremation and they're the ones who could do the cremation and they're the ones who had to sign for the cremation, why didn't they just say, you know what, we're gonna go we're gonna go pay for an independent autopsy, then we'll cremate her. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason why that didn't happen, and just from what I just read there, it's kind of weird. But yeah, that's another article that just came out 5 days ago, and it said that there was no autopsy, no actual autopsy. So that's weird for sure. Why they did not ask for one or pay for one independently, I don't know. So that's where that lies. And that was 5 days ago. So asked if Miller is considering bringing civil suits. He said everything is on the table. When anyone has been slandered, defamed, libeled, done wrong, they've lost a spouse wrongfully, you have to leave those doors open. The family is considering civil suits against JP and possibly Solid Rock at Market Common. On the cremation, he would let them see the body, but apparently they didn't. Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not. Well, he said that they could see the body if they signed the cremation papers. Well, my thing is, be like, all right, cool. You know what? I'll sign the cremation papers after the autopsy. I mean, none of us were there. And a lot of this is he said, she said. Realistically, it's all he said, she said. But to me, if the family wanted an autopsy and they wanted an independent autopsy because for whatever reason they weren't doing one, I would have just said, I'll sign the papers after the autopsy. So I'm not really sure. That article gave a little bit of a different spin than other articles have. It was written in a little bit of a spinny manner. So I don't know how much truth would come from that particular article. It seemed a little bit more spun in JP's favor. So I'm not 100% sure how that works, but I don't understand why there was no autopsy. That's the thing that I don't understand. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that nobody pushed for one. When you're married, the spouse does have authority, but she had just filed 2 days prior to separate. So unfortunately, that's kind of like a weird, messy, like depending on who you get that day. I mean, depending on whatever judge you get that day, they could be like, oh, well, she filed papers 2 days ago. We're going to say that, they're separated. This doesn't apply. Or you get the judge that says, it ain't went through yet. They're still married. It just is going to depend on, maybe they didn't have money for an autopsy to push for an independent autopsy. Go fund that bitch. Do you think that they couldn't have GoFunded me an autopsy for her in about 5 hours? They could have got the money up hella quick if they would have came to social media and been like, my sister died under very strange circumstances. They're refusing to do an autopsy. We don't think it was suicide. They could have had the autopsy funds done in hours, probably. So I don't really think that's really a suitable what if. I feel like that could have done. I still don't understand why one wasn't mandated. Usually they're mandated, but then again, sometimes in cases of suicide, they'll be like, yeah, it was a suicide. We don't need to do one. But if the family's like, no, we don't think it is, I don't know. It's just wild. I don't understand why there wasn't an autopsy done. That's wild. Not everyone is comfortable with social media or doing a GoFundMe. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Been there, done that, got the postcard. Regardless of what asshole idiots on here want to say, I've only ever done one GoFundMe in my life. One. And you want to know what that one was? to get my mom cremated. I had no choice. It was either I get money from fucking somewhere that I did not have on a moment's notice, or my mom was going to sit in a morgue till God knows fucking when, because I didn't have thousands of dollars, because that was the cheapest option. The cheapest option was to cremate her. And I didn't even have that. She died in 2 weeks' time in hospice with no life insurance. We didn't have the money. We didn't, she told me that she was saving up money. We couldn't find it. To this day, we probably gave whatever money she had squirreled away in with belonging somewhere. I heard that she stuck it in a vacuum. I gave the vacuum to a fucking neighbor. I found that out weeks after the case. I have no idea. But we had no way to cremate my mom, and I had to do a GoFundMe, or she was going to sit in a morgue till God knows fucking when. And nobody wants that for their loved one. So I'm going to tell you right now, when you are pushed against a fucking wall and you have no other way to do something, you're going to do what you got to fucking do. And I will tell you, if I felt that fucking strongly and I didn't have the money, bet your ass I would have. Bet your ass I would have. But as far as that goes, there was a lot. She had a lot of family. She had a lot of family. I'm sure if somebody, they donated this and they donated this and the church, go to the church. They were huge in the church. Set up a fucking donation in the church. I mean, there was a lot of things. If that was a deciding factor, which we don't even know if it was. We don't even know if it was. That's the problem, is there's not a lot of information. We're getting, there's little bits of here and little bits of there, and a lot of people being armchair detectives of, did this happen? Did that happen? This looks weird. That looks weird. And so there's more questions than there are answers, because it feels like nobody's talking. Nobody, the family is not sitting down and giving, 2020 in-depth interview. Mica's sister said people have given them money but requested no names to be given. Okay. Well, there you go. We have an ongoing, is there really an ongoing court case? No, there's really nothing to be had. Nobody's being tried for anything. So, why isn't the family doing a bunch of interviews, answering questions? I don't know. Why JP, I can understand why he's not saying nothing, because no matter what he says is going to be dissected at length by people wanting him to be guilty, even if he wasn't guilty, which I don't know if he is or he isn't. But if he sits down and says anything, much like when he did there, much like when he did on Justin's live, people are going to look for discrepancies in what he's saying. The cops are not investigating because it's been deemed a suicide. So they're not investigating. Well, yeah, talking to Justin on here, I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but to me, not everybody has TikTok. There is any nightly news station that I'm sure would love to have them on to talk, whatever the case may be, Dateline 2020, whatever's still on now. I don't have cable. I'm sure they could sit down and have a whole hour interview of, this is what happened. This is what we think happened. The FBI, as I just said, is not investigating Mica, however. They are not investigating her. They are doing a parallel investigation, of which they will not say what it is, but it is not a death investigation. So they're investigating something, but not her death. So, and that was in numerous articles. The FBI won't confirm what they're doing, other than saying that it is not a death investigation. Well, yeah, like I said, they had Mica was being investigated for transferring $1,199 from a 501c charity to her Cash App, but then it was dropped for insufficient evidence, but somebody had turned her in for doing it. Who turned her in? Who turned her in? Some people want to do the funeral, get the funeral over to start the healing process. People don't do things the same way. They were literally saying from the beginning that they wanted more. They wanted stuff done. They wanted stuff done. So that's not the case here. That's not the case here. I mean, I remember from the beginning of this, they were talking about they wanted the GSR test done. They wanted all the stuff done. He was refusing to have it done. He was holding the body hostage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, and paint me however you want to paint me when I gesture at this, because I'm sure there's people on here who are not going to agree with me. But I can tell you this, I don't care how much I want to get on with the grieving process. I want my fucking answers. So regardless if I want to get past this and be able to put it behind me and start to heal, you can't heal with a bunch of fucking questions gnawing at your brain. Yeah, he had the family sign papers in order to see I get that. I have already covered that earlier. You're not going to be able to heal by simply having a funeral and getting it out of the way when you're having 9 other questions eating away at your brain. Like, was there this? Was there that? Should this be checked for? Should that be checked for? And maybe there are people who would just be like, you know what? It is what it is. It's done. I want to move on. I will never be one of those people. Ever. I would never be able to be one of those people. I would want to know if I truly, with everything in me, was like, you know what? She had plans on Sunday. She was talking about moving to Kenya. She filled up her gas tank. She was talking about how, he would be the reason she ended. And then she ends. I'm going to be looking into it. That's just period. I'm going to be looking into it. I'm going to be fighting. I'm going to be like, no, this, that, no, that. I'm going to be fighting, period. And again, that is just me. That is not everybody. But I can tell you that that's the mindset that I would have. If I knew in my heart of hearts somebody did not unalive themselves, I would be kicking tooth and fucking nail, screaming from the rooftops the second it happened. But that's my personality. Is I want to get to the bottom of something, whether it's good, bad, right, wrong, whatever. I just want answers. That's how I've always been. That's how I've been on this app. That's how I've been whatever. I just want answers. Wherever those answers lead me, I don't care. Whether it leads me to somebody being a sack of shit or the best person on the planet, I don't care. I just want an answer. And for me, if I knew within my heart of hearts that, she had plans on Sunday and she filled up her car tank of gas and all this, I would be fighting tooth and fucking nail saying, look, she did not do this. I want to pay for an autopsy. I don't care how I got to get the money. I'm going to fucking get the money. I want an autopsy. I want it away from this coroner who may have ties in this town. I want to get my own independent autopsy. I'm not signing any records. I'm not doing anything. I want to fight this. I went to the court. I would have tried to see if I could have got a stay, whatever would need to be done in order to get the answers that I was looking for. I would have done, but that's me. So, and it's unfortunate now because she's cremated. They ain't got shit to go on now. They don't have things that they could go back and look at. They don't have a gunshot residue test. She has no hands anymore. They can't test for water in the lungs. She has no lungs anymore. That's the bad part about cremation is once it's done, you destroy any and all evidence. And I know that it was important for them to have her cremated. And I get it. I do. But I would want my fucking answers first. That's just who I am. We're talking about the Mica Miller case. So I would have done everything I could to stay that. I've been like, no, I'm not signing any papers. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to go to the courts. I'm going to see if I can get appointed something. I want an autopsy. I can't afford it. I'm going to go fucking ask the church. I'm going to go ask my friends. I'm going to go ask the internet. I'm going to do what I got to do to get my fucking answers. That's going to be me. But I think I've made that more than evident with the fact that I will hound something to death in order to get a fucking answer. So now, unfortunately, there's nothing anybody's going to be able to do. So trying to find him liable isn't really going to do anything. Because they're never going to have definitive physical proof. They could try to nail him with everything under the fucking sun, but there's no body to exhume. And that's where, they could literally find that he was not, his alibi doesn't hold up. And they could find that, he really did A, B, C, or D. But in the end, to connect him to an actual unaliving, there has to be physical proof. The physical proof is now in an urn. There's no body to exhume. There's no test to be had. Did I do anything on the Sebastian Rogers case? I did not. However, I did hear something interesting that the family, a portion of the family, one of the parents, is sending out cease and desists to true crimers, which is weird. I've heard it's only the ones that are trying to profit off of his death. Which I can understand. The ones who are doing GoFundMes and not putting the money where they belong, or whatever the case may be, that apparently the family has decided to do cease and desists to these particular true crime armchair detectives. However, regardless of the meaning or reason why, it does look weird when one of the parents is like, yeah, I know you're trying to help me figure out where my son is, but fuck you. That's weird. They can't even test for that, Morgan. There's nothing left. There's nothing to test. There's nothing to test. Cash App is better. GoFundMe takes too much money out. So does Cash App. They take out the exact same amount. FYI. Well, Cash App takes a little bit less. Cash App takes a little bit less. Cash App does take a little bit less. It's a little bit less. They did not find him. That is weird that, a family would send out cease and desists of people trying to help, but in the grapevine, I heard that they're only going after the people who have been putting out GoFundMes and donations. I already know of a person who was already accused of doing shit with GoFundMe and donations. So, I mean, it's shitty when somebody takes advantage of a case where somebody is going through something very real, a very real trauma, a very real scenario, and it's, donate to this GoFundMe to help. No. Rule number 1, don't ever donate to a GoFundMe unless the family is putting out the GoFundMe link. Because there's so many people nowadays that will start a GoFundMe for something and have no ties. So, definitely do not be giving money to GoFundMes unless a family says, hey, this is our GoFundMe for, for whatever reason that we're looking for it for, whether it's investigators, autopsies, whatever, burial reasons, whatever. Don't give money to GoFundMes to creators on social media saying it's for the family because they can't prove it. So I do think it's wild that there is, thank you, Diana. There's more of that direction. I do think it's wild that all of a sudden all these creators are being hit with cease and desists from different true crime stories. I totally understand when there's somebody who is coming out with wildly negative, defaming things in a story. I don't know if that's ever being done. I don't pay attention to what other creators are doing to know who's mishandling a case. I don't watch other creators. Lord knows I have enough beefs with enough of them that I just stay over here and I don't watch anybody's content. That way I don't feel the need to get involved or make a comment or whatever. I just stay over there and I don't watch other people's content. That way I don't feel the need to stitch it, correct it, or comment on it. So I don't know who's saying or doing what that is involving these people getting these cease and desists. But it is wild to me that, a parent of a missing child is going to that length when, they are, most of them are trying to help bring him home. So, we have done lives on fish tanks. We've done a couple of them. We've done them when, we did one when we put this tank together last time. We do, that's weird. We've done different we did one with the beta tank. We did one when we put this tank together. So we do fish tank stuff on there. It just depends. All of our tanks are going right now. We just this one right here, that one right there, the one in the middle, there's nothing in it. It's just a tank. There's nothing in it. There's no fish. We don't have money for fish right now. So there's no fish in it. I have another tank that's been getting ready out in the living room that also has no fish in it because we're cycling it. So we're cycling it and there's no fish in it because it's not ready to have fish yet. We just ran the water levels again yesterday and they are still acting up, which I do not understand. I do not understand how my water levels can be boggy and there's nothing in it. So we've been running water checks to find out what the fuck is going on. And until the water checks run right, we can't put anything in the tanks because we're not going to put something in there just for it to pass away within, a short amount of time. That would be very irresponsible to do. So we just have 2 tanks sitting here with nothing in them for right now. Everything else is fine. Yeah, it's an expensive hobby. Absolutely 150,000%. Yep. And it's hard to keep them up. Yep. Which, that involves, we have to do water changes and tank cleanings and yada, yada, yada. So, I am also doing a TikTok. Yes. If you can see me, keep looking up. Yeah. I'm doing a TikTok and a YouTube live together. So they're both running TikTok and YouTube at the same time. But we're only going to be able to see. Apparently, this person is gonna put out. I don't know when JP is doing this whole. We're gonna go over text messages thing. I think that's going to be very interesting to hear or see. What these text messages say. What he's going to say. Why they're relevant. I want to know what the relevance is of these text messages. Just, a bunch of text messages with no context isn't really going to mean a whole hell of a lot, to be honest. We've had turtle tanks. We had to basically rescue some turtles because somebody literally said, if you don't come get these turtles, we're going to throw them in a creek. So we went and got the turtles and I bought like a whole new enclosure, whole 9. And we kept them about a month and then I rehomed them after spending all that money, because turtles are very dirty. They're very dirty. And it takes a lot to keep them clean. And I'm not a huge turtle fan to begin with, but I'm also not going to let somebody dump captive turtles into a fucking creek. So we took them until we could find somebody, and we found somebody who kind of raised them. So we donated them to them. Are they hard to take care of? No, not really. So yeah, no turtles. Turtles are not, they are very, very, very dirty. Very dirty. So it's a lot of cleaning. So that's about where we're at with, that's where we kind of stand with the whole Mica thing right now is, I don't know, either waiting for JP to incriminate himself in some way or for it to die down, because at this point it's either he had a hand in it or he didn't, and either it's going to go away or it's not. That's about where it's at right now, is just either because again, there's never going to be definitive proof. Sans for a video of that day showing up that was like put on somebody, like the suitcase where they videotaped the whole thing and it got put on. I mean, sans for that, it ain't gonna matter what anybody says or does, because in the end, there's no body to exhume, no test to be had to prove that anybody had a hand in anything. So a lot of this is just it's never going to ever come to a conclusion that's going to make anybody happy. No, I'm sorry, Randella. Did you put its bed out on your porch? If you have a bed or a toy it plays with, put it out on your porch. And sometimes it can smell its way home that way. They say to put a bed out on the porch, a toy, food doesn't really matter. That's going to attract anything. You put her crate outside. Okay, that's one of the best things you can do is put a crate outside. Yeah. Put a crate outside, put some of their toys outside, anything that their scent would be on. Take one of your dirty shirts and put it out there too. Take like something you wore yesterday, put that out on the porch too. That way they can smell you. Anything that smells like them, a blanket, anything. And then take something that you wore and put it outside. Because I will tell you, I will, like, Sissy lays on bed with me and she can't really get down. But if she gets down during the night for some reason that she really can't, but if she does, the first thing she does, she's got a bed. But the first thing she'll do is she'll try to find, like, if I took my shirt off and put it on the floor, that's the first place she goes. If I have to leave for a couple hours during the day, she likes to stay in my room. So I'll put some of my like dirty clothes on the floor that she can lay in because she loves laying on my clothes. I know you're going to think I'm really, really, really fucking weird for this one. Do you have a fan? Do you have an oscillating fan, a box fan, anything? Put the fan behind the bed or the clothes so it blows the scent out farther. I know that's really weird. Yeah, for cats, their litter box is the best thing to get their scent out there. This is a dog. Her beagle's been missing for 5 hours. So put its bed, put its toys, put its blanket, put a sweatshirt of yours out on your porch. Try to aim a fan to where it can blow the scent out farther. Oh, she's an old girl. Oh no. I hope something works. That's got to be the worst thing. I've never, where's my wood? I've never, knock on wood, I've never had that happen. My dogs in the time that Riley learned how to dig under a fence and jump over a fence, because she's my little monkey. They jump over the fence and then they sit on the other side of the fence wanting to come back home. So they never really ran away. Yeah, and if you have to go put up a couple flyers or whatever you got to do, try to throw some flyers up real quick. I did have my cat get out once. I was 9. I think the cat got in 5th grade, I want to say. So the cat was about 2 years old, and my babysitter was coming for the morning because my mom didn't like me getting ready for school by myself or whatever. And we opened the door and the cat took off, and the cat was missing for 3 days. And we found it because my cat is really weird. Hey, sissy, knock it off. My cat would come to a can opener. So if we shook a can opener, the cat would come running. And so we walked the neighborhood with a can opener, shaking the can opener. And finally, 2 doors down, we hear meow, meow. He was underneath the house 2 doors down. And he came to the can opener. No, you don't need to go out there, because the minute I let you out, you're going to want to come back in. I know how this works, ma'am. We've been doing this all day. No, you don't need to go out there because you're just going to want to come back in. So I would try that. That's the only things that I can think of other than literally driving around your neighborhood if you have a neighborhood. That's the only thing I could think of to do is they always talk about leaving their scent out on the porch to bring them back home. And again, to me, what's even more important would be putting something of yours out there. That way they think they're coming towards you. So like I would definitely take like a jacket or something and put it outside. You live in the country. I've been up and down the roads until the four-wheeler ran out of gas. I'm sorry. I can't even imagine. That would be awful. I live kind of out in the country too, so it would really suck. Like, I would hate to go through that. So, anyways, I am on Ryan Lee TM right now on go on Facebook too. I'm on Ryan Lee TM on YouTube. I'm actually going to shut this one down. I'm tired of leaning off the camera to smoke. So if you want to continue this conversation, I'll be on here for a little bit longer over on YouTube. So I'm Ryan Lee TM, all one word, on YouTube. Come give me a subscribe. And that's where I do all of my lives. I do all my lives on YouTube and TikTok about maybe a third of the time now. I get banned so much, it's kind of lost its appeal. So anyways, come hang out on YouTube if you want. So that is where we are at there to finish up our Mica discussion. Here on out, it's just talking. So what does the TM stand for? Trademark. It's not actually trademark, so I can't say Ryan Lee trademark. So it's Ryan Lee TM. Yeah, it's not actually trademarked. So I just say it's TM. So it kind of stands for TM, but it's not like trademarked or anything. So I want to see where he's at. Oh, that's another reason I wanted to get off the phone. I can't check Life 360 if I'm on it. So, and my phone was about to die. It's on 16%. So, he's getting there. He's getting there. He'll be home shortly. Let's plug the phone in. It's on 16%. So I figure he should be home by midnight. Easy. We got an early day in the morning. Tomorrow's a big day. I got to get up at 7, take my dog over to the vet. Come home, pick up my husband, go to the chiropractor, take him to work, take the car to go get an oil change, go pick the dog up at the vet, and come home. So it's gonna be a long day of hurry up and waits. So I got to get up at 7, get the dog over there. Then I got about an hour and a half, 2 hours probably. Oh no, about 2 hours before I have to go to the chiropractor. Then I go to the chiropractor, I take him to work, and I got about 2 hours before I got to go get the oil change. And then I got probably another 2 to 3 hours before I pick up the dog at the vet. He's getting fixed. We could have got him fixed as early as about February, but we had a bunch of shit happen and go wrong and yada yada yada. So I finally got the money to get him fixed a couple weeks ago. And they gave me they pushed it out like a couple of weeks. I was like, is this really as soon as you can do it? They're like, yes. I'm like, damn it. So the day has finally come. So tomorrow he's gonna go get fixed. So I was going to keep the car today and do the oil change today and the vet tomorrow. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I moved the oil change to tomorrow, which they never gave me a sticker for my last oil change. So I called them and they're like, yeah, it was due back 3,000 miles ago. And I'm like, fuck. I usually go about 1,000 or two over because I use the good oil, but I went a little bit over what I usually do. So I'm doing the oil change tomorrow. And then they told me to drop off the dog at like 7:30 in the morning. Last time when I had my boys done, I had them done at the same time. I dropped them both off the same day. They came home, immediately got in a fight. Immediately. I set them down and they start tearing at each other's bandages. I'm like, can you not? You have been in the door 30 seconds. You just had surgery. Can you not do that? And then they left each other alone after that. It was weird. But so I figured they're probably going to have me pick them up around like 4 or something. And sorry, Tara, you're taking one for the team. I'm also taking in Bronxy. I want to have his anal glands done tomorrow. So I'm gonna take both of them over there, and I don't know if they'll do the anal glands that early in the morning. I may have to bring him back to when I pick up Buddy from his neuter, that they can do it then. But I want to get his anal glands done, so I'm gonna take him. That's really good, Arendella. That's really good. I hope that works. I really do. Good night, child. So well, aren't you just, Ashley? Not all of us can afford $22.99 to skip ads. My husband says, I want to get YouTube. I said, I'm not paying for that. We just canceled Hulu. And it wasn't the fact we canceled it. What happened was Hulu was getting ready to come out, and I had just gotten new debit cards because of the name change. So I'd gotten new debit cards and I hadn't updated the payment. I guess the payment decided to end, or the fact that it tried to run a card that it didn't work anymore because it was my old debit card. And I was like, do we watch this enough to keep paying for it? And he's like, you can keep it canceled for right now. And I'm like, all right. So now I have like nothing but Paramount. I haven't watched TV. I tried to watch TV a couple weeks ago and it didn't work. I still have Paramount and I have YouTube. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't want to have to, you know what I mean? So you found me on Twitch? Nice. So, he should be home somewhat shortly, and then we're going to have to go to bed like pretty quick because, like I said, I have to get up and get him to the vet for like 7:30, I think. And then, but he doesn't have to get up. We don't have to get up and go to the chiropractor. Our appointment's at 10. And then I'm going to take him to work. We got to go to the bank, and then I got to take him to work. And then I got to go to the oil change, and then I got to go get the dog. It's going to be a whole bunch of hurry up and waits tomorrow, which I fucking hate those. But I tried to move everything X amount of hours apart in case there was any type of weird delay. Delays freak me out, and I don't want to have anything cross over. So I'm just going to have a really long, annoying, drawn out day tomorrow. Is what it is. I mean, it's the stuff. I got to get this stuff done. So yeah, he should be fine. He's a little healthy puppy. So, should go off without a hitch. He just now started getting, usually you want to wait about 6 months to get a boy fixed. So he got to be 6 months old about late February. March and April, he was acting okay. But come May, he started getting a little humpy. And I was like, yeah, nope, we got to do this. So I got the money and then I call and they're like, yeah, in like 5 weeks. And I'm like, but I need it now. They're like, we can't. And I'm like, well, fuck. So, Sissy, you're not going out there. The minute I let you out, you're going to want back in. Leia Rose, come here. Leia. Leia Rose. I'm going to let her out. She's going to want right back in. Look, I'll let you out. Do not ask to come back in. You're not coming back in. You're out forever. Go. You went out so bad, go. Bye. 5 minutes, y'all. I give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes. She's going to go out there, realize there's nothing worth barking at, and she will be at this door in under 5 minutes. It is 11:21, so by 11:26, she's going to be crying at the door again. Guaranteed. We do this all night, in, out, in, out. Why don't you just leave the door open? Because I just don't, okay? Because I don't. So, yeah, no nap in between because I'm going to be out. I'm going to be out. So there's nowhere for me to nap while I'm out. I'm not going to keep coming home and going out and coming home and going out. I'm just going to basically kill time. What basically is probably going to happen is I figure that after I drop him off at work, before the oil change, I'll probably go live somewhere to kill time. And then do the oil change, which doesn't take very long. And then I'll probably come home and wait for them to tell me about the dog, especially if I have to bring Bronx and I'm going to have to go home and get him. So but from the time I take him to work until the time I have the oil change is going to be, about 2 hours. So, Yoda's been doing okay. She's been doing all right. She's not gone downhill. She's kind of just plateaued, kind of staying the same. She ate all of her dinner tonight. I gave her a little bit of a pizza puff too, but she ate a good portion of her dinner. So, she's been doing pretty good. Yesterday we did ear washing. So we managed to wrangle up all the dogs and wash all their ears at the same time. Instead of like one, but we like literally just went down the line and just ear washed everybody. It was ear washing time, so that was fun. They all liked it. They all liked it. I guess they all thought it felt good. Except now Kira, I dumped a little bit too much in her ears, but everybody else seemed to like it. Once we were rubbing her ears, she was fine. But oh, my battery's about to die. But did lots of ear washing last night, and everybody seemed like Pepper couldn't quite understand. She kept trying to dry her head on the floor. But she's not my smartest dog either, so everybody else was fine. She just wanted to rub her face on the floor, so that's basically everything. That's my day tomorrow is going to be very, very busy, but very hurry up and wait. So not a huge fan, but I got to get it done. So, there's not really anything I can do to kill time in between them really, unless I want to go window shop, but I don't want to window shop because if I window shop, I'm going to want to buy something. And I don't want to buy anything. I don't want to spend any money. So I don't want to have to spend any money, and I'm going to want to spend money, so I can't go anywhere because then I want to buy money. I want to spend money, and I don't want to buy anything. So, well, yeah, we have Rokus. We have Rokus on every TV, but if you don't have anything hooked, I mean, we can watch obviously YouTube. We can watch YouTube, like everything's on YouTube anyway anymore. So like, fuck it. And I think we still have Paramount. I think we still have Paramount, but we got rid of everything, and we just don't watch TV like almost ever. He's got some anime called Crunchyroll. It's an anime app that he pays for because he likes anime and I don't. So he watches that, but that's about it. I just don't have time to watch TV. I get up, I do my live. I go out if I have the car, I go out, get things done, do content, whatever I need to do. Then I, play my game for a while, and in between I take care of whatever I need to take care of in the house. I got about 6 dishes that need washing and some clothes I need to put away that I can't seem to get up the gumption to put away, but I think I'm actually going to do it. So, that way I can get the basket out of my room. So after this, I'm probably going to go in, take care of the clothes, sweep and mop my room, get that all nice and cleaned up. I think that's where until he comes home, I think that's what I'm going to do is just, take care of those few things. Then when he gets home, we're going to clean out the ferret and then go to bed so that, we can start tomorrow. So that is my farewell, because I am going to go, like I said, I'm going to go put those clothes away and sweep them up my room. So I'm going to go do some responsibility stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at some point, whether I do live in the early afternoon or whatever. I will see you guys at some point tomorrow. So I hope everybody has a good night. Randella, I hope that you find your dog. I hope they come home tonight. I can't even imagine how you're feeling, but I really, really, really hope they come home. And when they come home, send us a picture of the happy reunion when they come home, because I would love to see your little dog be home safe. So, everybody have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.